Welcome back, everybody. Well, the Photographic Society of Northwest Arkansas, they've been doing some amazing work, and they are bringing in international photographer Michael Bradley. We have him joining us right now, all the way from New Zealand. Welcome to the show, Michael. Thank you for taking the time to chat with us.
Kia ora, thank you very much, and pleasure to be here.
Michael, thank you again so much. Thank you especially for coordinating the time change and everything with us. We're very excited to talk to you today about what you're going to be presenting to the Society this evening. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So I was lucky enough to get contacted about doing a presentation, which we're really excited about. So going to be talking about a project that I've been working on for quite some time, or worked on a while back, called Puaki, which basically is a photographic exhibition that I'm working on about the tamaka, which is the traditional tattoos here in New Zealand that the Māori wear. And this particular project focuses on the wearing of the tamaka on the face.
How did you get connected with the society here in Northwest Arkansas?
Yeah, so I got an email from Chuck sort of out of the blue, which was, so he must have seen, so he's involved with the society, so he must have seen the work online. It had been featured in a number of different online sort of articles and things when the work was first shown a couple of years ago.
Michael, you said you've been working on this project for a long time. How far back does it go? How long has this project been kind of in the hopper?
Yes, so I originally started it probably about 5 years ago now. The idea first came to me, you know, I'd been working on wet plate photography, which is a very old style of photography, which is kind of making your own film, and I won't go into all the details of it, but it's kind of quite a long process. But I'm a full-time photographer myself, and I was using the wet plate photography as a sideline and as a personal project, I suppose. And an idea came to me after I'd seen some photographs actually over in the States by wet plate photographers that had taken photographs of people with tattoos, and some of their tattoos had sort of faded away or disappeared. And the idea came to me about, well, could I actually show that in the, you know, doing a project on the tamaka, and would that sort of their facial tattoos disappear? And really sort of started, that was the idea started from there. Thought the project would take me 6 months to fulfill or to complete, and ended up being about 3.5 years.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's something you discovered maybe that surprised you as you were working on this project?
I mean, the thing that probably I focused on the most around it was sort of gaining the trust in things, and just the with the tamaka, it's very, very personal, and talking to the people that wear the tamaka, and just how personal and how important it is to them, you know, in their daily life, and just their general, you know, sort of reactions that people sort of give them when they're out and about. But yeah, it was just fascinating to sort of be able to delve into that or into their stories.
Is there a story that sticks out in particular as you were photographing?
Yeah, there certainly was one that was very, very powerful, and as part of the series, so there are 2 photographs. There's the wet plate photograph and a coloured digital photograph, which are side by side in the gallery. And then as part of that, there is a video component as well. So I was very keen for them to be able to express in their own words sort of, you know, what their journey was. But there was certainly one lady that was that's on my website, and you can view the video, which but her father was Chinese, her mother was Māori, and so he had a very, very interesting reaction. But yeah, that was a fascinating sort of journey, and very emotional, and I sort of sat down and after, because I didn't know where this conversation was going to go to when we had the conversation, so I sort of sat down afterwards and said, look, if you go away after tonight and you're not comfortable with sharing this with the general public, get back to me. But she was more than happy, and yeah, it's a really emotional story about her father's reaction to her receiving the moko kowai, which is the facial tattoo on the chin that the females wear. And yeah, so that was a really interesting and very personal and emotional story that she was, I know I was lucky enough to to receive that tonga, which is the Māori word for treasure. So I sort of took that upon me, that they were giving me a gift or giving me a treasure, and I sort of held that treasure for, in this case, 3.5 years, until the work was ready to be shown as a large photographic exhibition.
Wow.
The whole thing sounds fascinating.
How can people find you on social media to follow your work?
Yes, so puaki.com is the website, or mbphotonz is my hashtag, or on Instagram and things like that. And I should be doing more on Instagram and things like that, being a photographer. But if you search probably mbphotonz on Instagram, you'll be able to find me there.
Yeah, it was great talking to Michael. Yes, we really appreciate him taking the time to wake up early and speak with us, join us all the way from New Zealand there.
Absolutely, and thank you to the Photographic Society of Northwest Arkansas for putting the event together. Head over to our website right now. We've got a registration link for tonight's event, so make sure you do that. Hop on that Zoom call with Michael and learn all about his exhibit. It's truly, truly extraordinary.
That's right.
It's very fun.